and section 7.
Okay.
17 will be definitions. So under section 15, we have 3 subclauses. Section 15A, 15B, and 15C. So under section 15A, it says that any salary due from employer or former employer to an assessee in the previous year, whether paid or not. So it means that whether the salary is paid or not, as it accrues, it has to be taxed. And under section 15B, salary received by the employee from the employer or former employer, which is not due to him. So it is advance salary. So for example, if the salary for the month of April is received in the month of March, and it will be taxed in the month of March and not in month of April. So we saw that whether the payment is received first or whether the payment accrues first, whichever is earlier, it has to be taxed in that period. And under section 15C, we saw that the arrears of salary received on payment basis is not taxed on due basis. So if the employer lends loan to the employee and adjusts it towards the salary, and it is like any other loan, like bank loan, and there is no employer-employee relationship, and it is not in the form of salary, so it will not be taxed under the head of salaries.
Okay.
And we saw about section 17, the definition of salary. So salary includes wages, any annuity or pension, any gratuity, any fees, commissions, perquisites, or profits in lieu of or in addition to any salary or wages, advance of salary, payment received by an employee in respect of any period of leave not availed by him. And we also saw about the issues. So first we saw about the payment made by Swiggy and Zomato to its delivery partners will be taxable under the head of salary. So the delivery partners are not the employees of the Swiggy, so they are gig workers. So it will not be taxed under salaries. And we also saw about the Danso delays payment of salary. So under that we saw the employees would pay tax as it accrues in the period. And if the salary is not received subsequently, according to the Gujarat High Court judgment, it can be claimed as a deduction. And we also saw about whether the salary paid to a partner will be taxed under the head of salaries. So according to the partnership law, the partners and firms are one and the same, and there is no employer-employee relationship. So it will not be taxed under salaries. And we also saw about the salary of the employee being donated to the PM CARE funds of the donations. So it will be taxed under salaries unless and until it is surrendered to the central government. So PM CARE funds is not a central government, so it is it can be claimed as a deduction. Yes, and then the last point we saw that the payment made to the directors. So if the directors is controlled by the management, it will be, and there exists an employer-employee relationship, it will be taxed under salaries. And if the directors are independent, it will not be taxed under salaries.
Okay.
And we also saw about the pension received by the government employee. So it is taxed under 15A or B, as it says that any salary received from the former employee will also be taxable under their salaries. And whether the family pension is also taxable under salaries. So the answer is it will not be taxable under salaries because there is no employer-employee relationship, and hence it will be taxable under the income from other sources. Yes, sir.
Super, fantastic, very good one.
Thank you.
So we just left our discussion after completing section 15 yesterday. So what is that we are planning for today is we'll just take up the allowances part. From there we'll just continue. So does anybody have some doubts regarding the yesterday's class after revising the same?
No, sir.
It is clear, right? There is no doubts in that. So this is the overview of the chapter of the further parts of the chapter. So the chapter is broadly divided into three categories. The first one is allowances, where we'll just see about two types of allowance. One is HRA and the other one is the other allowances and its taxability. Then we'll go for the retirement benefits, and the last part of the chapter will be perquisite. So after which the chapter will be over. Right? So this is a very small chapter, as I've already said. So as far as allowances is concerned, see first, what does an allowance mean? What do you mean by an allowance? Balaji, what is an allowance? What do you mean by allowance?
So there is any expenses incurred by an employee later reimbursed by the employer.
Yeah, that is one of the nearest explanations which could be given for the term allowance. See, specifically, if it is for a expense of the employee, as rightly pointed out by you, if it is an expense of the employee which is met by an employer due to some either due to statutory or due to company policies, if it is going to be reimbursed, then in such case that amount will be known as allowances. See, generally as similar to the term salary, if you just go back to the definition of salary, you could not find out the term allowance here. Can you somewhere find the term allowance? After 5 years, there is 6, 7, and 8. There, the term allowance is not available. I can give you that assurance. But from 1 to 5A, this is the meaning of the term salary. But all of us know that allowance is also to be taxable, if so that is the case. But the term allowance cannot be found in the definition of the salary given under section 17(1). Then, should it be taxable or not? Is my question clear? Should I tax allowance? Number one. If so, yes. For something to be taxed under 15, twin conditions is to be satisfied. First, the amount received should be salary. Second, there should be an employer-employee relationship. So, allowance employer-employee relationship is satisfied without any doubt. But where is the term allowance in this definition, and should it be taxed or not? Yes. Allowance என்றது salary definitionல எங்க இருக்கு? எதுக்குள்ள இருக்கு?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, the fourth point, sir, any fee, commission, perks, or profit in lieu of or in addition to any salary or wages. So allowance is given in addition to the financial, it's given as a financial benefit in addition to the salary, no, sir. So do they, is it like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe your answer could have been right, but unfortunately, see, how should I read this term? See, any fees, commission, perquisites, or profits in lieu of or in addition to salary or to any wages, salary or wages. So basically, இந்த டேர்ம் இருக்கு இல்லையா, இதுல இருந்து இது வரைக்கும் ஒரே டேர்ம், profits in lieu of or in addition to any salary or wages. கரெக்ட். ஸோ இங்க ஒரு ஆர் வந்துட்டு அதுக்கப்புறமா திரும்ப அடுத்த ஆர் வர முடியாது. ஸோ எனி ஃபீஸ் ஒன்று, கமிஷன் ஒன்று, பெர்க்விசிட், தென் ப்ராஃபிட்ஸ் இன் லியூ ஆஃப், அது தனியாக பிரிக்க முடியாது. கரெக்ட். ஸோ இது வந்து ஒரு ஃபுல் டேர்ம், ப்ராஃபிட்ஸ் இன் லியூ ஆஃப் ஆர் இன் அடிஷன் டு எனி சேலரி ஆர் வேஜஸ். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் அ ஃபுல் டேர்ம். ஸோ ஃபார் சம்திங் டு பி இன் அடிஷன் டு சேலரி ஆர் வேஜஸ், இட் ஷுட் பி இன் த நேச்சர் ஆஃப் ப்ராஃபிட்ஸ். Right. Only then that could be brought under this head, this point of point number 4. Clear?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
So, no, sorry, Analia. Feel free, make many mistakes as possible. We just learn. That's why we are here, right? So that is the definition. So it could not be brought under this head. Then where will allowances come? Yes. Somebody? Sudarshan, what's your view?
Is that included in any fees?
Any fees? No, I don't think so. It has a separate meaning, and allowance could not be said as fee, right?
Sir,
Yeah.
this is inclusive definition. So probably like this is
This
not
is an
exhaustive.
fantastic. This is an inclusive definition. But generally, see, since it is, you just wish to say this is an inclusive definition, so it is in nature of things which is given here. So you are just going to include it. Is that your understanding?
Yes,
Is
sir.
my understanding of your answer right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that could be an answer, but just in practice, what will happen is, see, this term wages is there, right? It is highly exhaustive. Sorry, yeah, it is highly exhaustive, and it will include anything and everything within its ambit. Because the term wages is not defined, they just said salary includes wages. What do you mean by wages? For a professional, what is a wage? For a daily worker, you will give wages. Correct. So basically, whatever is due from an employer for the services rendered could generally be brought under the definition of the term wages. Okay. So any allowance which is being provided to an employee by the employer could be brought under the head of wages in the term of salary. So from there, our discussion will continue. So basically, if you just see our splitting of a chapter, first what we said, we'll speak about allowances. So allowances will be here in wages. Second thing we said, we'll speak about retirement benefits. That is these 2 points. Then we'll speak about perquisite. That's it. So we are just going to discuss these 3 things and close it out. Okay. So this is the definition. This is where the term allowance is being taxed. So as far as allowances are concerned, allowance can broadly be categorized into 3 parts. First one is fully taxable allowances. Next is partly taxable allowances. And the last one is fully exempt allowances. Right. So as far as what we'll do is we'll just do a reverse reading. We'll read partly taxable and fully exempt. So whatever is not partly exempt and fully exempt, it is fully taxable. We'll go that way. This will be the balancing figure. This fully taxable will be the balancing figure. And we'll just read what is partly taxable, what is fully taxable. Okay. So partly taxable allowances can be broadly classified into 2 parts again. First one is the house rent allowance and the other one is the special allowance. What do you mean by house rent allowance? What do you mean by HRA? Reshma, what do you mean by HRA? House rental allowance. Have you come across that term? Yes.
Or it's like an allowance which an employer receives for it's the employee wait. The employer reimburses the employee for the house rent paid by the employee, sir. So if the
Okay.
employee is living in a rented house, he'll pay a rent. So for that, that rent will be reimbursed by the employer to his employee.
Yeah. So basically, if the employer is going to take care of the residential needs of the employee, that allowance is known as house rent allowance. Generally, many companies will, corporates, including the government sectors, will be providing the house rent allowances to its employees for them to have a nice stay. Right. But as far as this house rent allowance is concerned, it is not fully exempt. It is partly exempt. What do you mean by partly exempt, sir? See, government itself under section 10(13)(a), what they said is they gave a formula. You just apply this formula, whatever is least of it, that amount I'll be exempting it from your income. Other amounts will be taxable. So that is how the chapter proceeds. So from here we are entering into the core chapter of salaries, which is important for the examination. So whatever has been discussed yesterday is more for your knowledge purpose and for you to perform better in interviews and in the offices. But whatever we are going to read now is, it is important for your examination per se. So from here on, it will be more and more revolving around the formulas. Unlike yesterday where we had discussions on interpretational issues and stuff, here we'll not be having such interpretational issues or stuff. It will be like simple, take the formula, put the number, get the answer, exempt it or tax it. So that's how the chapter will move on from here, which is an interesting part for one simple reason that it is very, very easy compared to other chapters of income tax. So you just need to remember this formula, take it and put it. So one caution which I would like to give you is, see, the salary meaning is there, right? The meaning of salary for every section will be different. Meaning of this government employee for every section will be different. So have this in your mind before while discussing every point, and make specified notes for it. So if at all it is HRA, the amount, this is the amount which is exempt. This is the meaning of the term salary, and this is the meaning of the term government employee, right? So if at all there is government employee, for different sections, different persons will be termed as government employees. So that alone you should remember. Now coming back to the HRA. So basically the HRA will be received by the employee from the employer for him to stay in a good house. He will reimburse the rent based on pay scale if at all he is in the service to the government, or if he is in the private sector, based on his negotiation, he will be given an HRA. So HRA is one of the best tax saving schemes which is used by salaried employees. Mostly, many of them will be claiming the deduction under HRA. So list of the following will be exempt. List of the following will be exempt. So what are those three? There are just three conditions which is there. First one is HRA received for the relevant period. Next is rent paid minus 10% of salary for the relevant period. Third point is 40% of salary for the relevant period. So we know what is HRA, what is received. First term which we are unable to understand here is relevant period. So what do you mean by the term relevant period? This term relevant period is defined by the Act itself. So relevant period means the period during which the said accommodation is occupied by the assessee. Assume, for example, I am in a rented premises for 3 months, right? So for the 3 months, whatever HRA I am receiving, that alone should be used here. So that is known as the relevant period. Whenever I'm paying rent, I'm staying in a house and I'm paying rent. That period alone is known as the relevant period. So the HRA received for that period alone should be considered in point number A. Next is point number B. Rent paid. Rent paid, we just know whatever is the rent actually paid by the employee should be taken here minus 10% of salary for the relevant period. We have seen what the relevant period means. Next is 40% of salary. What do you mean by the term salary? It's the first question, because we cannot use the definition provided by 17.1 because 17.1 salary includes HRA. So to compute the exemption of HRA, it does not make sense if we are just including it and calculating a percentage on it. So the salary is basically specifically defined in 1013A itself. It says that it is basic salary plus DA, which is known as the dearness allowance. And the third one is commission based on fixed percentage of turnover achieved by the employee. So if at all you are in sales, what would I get a best example of selling agent? For example, take Hindustan Unilever, HUL selling agent. If he's just going and selling certain number of goods, then based on whatever his sales is, he'll be given a commission. That sales commission alone can be included in the definition of the term salary. That is first point. Second point is, so we have seen that this is 40% of salary, but if they are just going to give a single percentage for the entire country, that is not going to work out. Primarily for one simple reason that a person can pay 5,000 or 6,000 as rent in Kanchipuram, but he cannot pay 5,000 or 6,000 as rent in Chennai and get a similar house. He has to pay more, right? So for metro cities alone, what they said is instead of 40% of salary, use 50% of salary, right? So what are the metro cities? So metro cities, there are only 4 metro cities. One is Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, and Mumbai. So other cities, even though they are considered metropolitan, only Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, and Mumbai are metro cities for the purpose of 1013A. Right? So just revise this and give me a minute. I'll just be back. Sorry for the disturbance. Just revise this. I'll be back. Sorry for the interruption. So we were discussing about HRA, right? So as far as HRA is concerned, only 4 cities. So only 4 cities are considered to be metro cities. First one is Delhi, second one is Chennai, third one is Kolkata, and the fourth one is Mumbai. So, idhula oru sila points if we just see, for you to claim a deduction of HRA, first you should actually pay the rent. If the actual rent is not paid, you cannot claim any deduction under HRA. Okay. So if no rent is actually being paid and you're staying in your own house, in that case, you cannot claim HRA. So that is the first point. So second point is which we've already discussed. So what do you mean by the term, meaning of the term relevant period means? It just simply means that if at all you are just going to pay rent for 3 months, take the salary of 3 months. If you are going to pay rent for 6 months, take the salary of 6 months. That's it.
Sir,
Yes?
previous side ஒரு doubt இருக்கு sir.
எந்த ஸ்லைடடா? இதுலையா? இதுலையா?
அதுதான்.
சொல்றேன்.
Sir, 10% of salary னா எதை சார் சொல்ல வருது?
Salaryன்றது basic plus DA plus commission based on fixed percentage of turnover. அவ்வளவுதான்.
Sir.
So other components of salary should not be considered as salary. Only these three is to be considered as salary.
Okay. Sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, on the commission part,
see, very simple. There could be different parts of salary, components of salary. So மூணு component மட்டும்தான் we should take for the purpose of we should take it as a salary for the purpose of computing HRA. First வந்து basic salary, second வந்து DNS allowance. இது ரெண்டும் புரிஞ்சிருச்சு. Third point வந்து என்னன்னா commission based on fixed percentage of turnover achieved by the employee. Assume I am an employee of a manufacturing company. Sales departmentல இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கோ. Generally sales departmentல என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா they'll give you commission for the sales which is done by you. இன்னொன்னு புரியுற மாதிரி சொல்லணும்னா you just go to any textile shops. ஒரு பிக் ஷாப்ஸ் லைக் போத்தீஸ் ஆர் சரவணா ஸ்டோர்ஸ்லாம் போனோம்னா ஒரு எம்ப்ளாயியும் ஒரு கோட் ஒட்டுவாங்க, பார்த்திருக்கியா? நீ வாங்குற ட்ரெஸ்ல தேல் ஜஸ்ட் டிக் தேர் கோட். பார் கோட் தனியா இருக்கும், அது இல்லாம அந்த எம்ப்ளாயி ஒரு தனியா ஒரு கோட் ஒட்டும். ஹேவ் யூ நோட்டிஸ்ட் இட்?
எஸ் சார். அவங்க சேல்ஸ் பண்றதுக்கான
அவங்க சேல் பண்றதுக்கான இது. ஸோ இஃப் அட் ஆல் அசியூம் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஒரு சேல்ஸ்க்கும் அவங்க ஒரு ஃபிக்ஸட் பர்சன்டேஜ் ஆஃப் சேல்ஸ், இப்போ நீ வந்து 1 crore பண்றேன்னு வச்சுக்கேன், நீ எவ்வளவு சேல்ஸ் பண்றியோ அது உனக்கு 1% வந்து நான் உனக்கு கமிஷன் கொடுக்குறேன் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்கன்னா, that 1% of commission which you are receiving alone will be included for the purpose of salary for computing exemption under HRA.
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll just solve few problems in this regard so that you'll have a better understanding. Just give me a minute, I'm framing the question.
Sir?
Yeah.
So the lowest figure among all these three will be exempted, sir?
Yeah, lowest among all three will be exempted.
Okay, sir.
Is the question screen visible?
No. Yes, sir.
டக்குன்னு இமீடியட்டா ஒரு டக்குன்னு சால்வ் மட்டும் பண்ணிட்டு பார்க்கலாம்.
Sir,
Yes.
can you try, sir?
Yeah. What is the answer?
I think if it is in Bangalore, I think it is 66,000.
66,000. Okay. In Chennai?
In Chennai also 66,000.
Chennai also?
66,000.
Okay.
Sir, in Chennai, it is, I think it is 30,000. Sir.
30,000 in Chennai. Okay. We'll just check. Right? We'll just wait for others. We'll check.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, இப்போ per month மட்டும்தான் calculate பண்ணலாம்.
இல்ல whole year calculate பண்ணிடுமா?
Whole year-க்கு தானே? Yes, sir. Sir,
Yes.
sir, அப்படி பண்ணும்போது எனக்கு ரெண்டு கேசஸ்மே 1,14,000 வருது.
1,14,000 வருதா? ஓகே. சுதர்ஷன், என்ன ஆன்சரே காணோம்?
Same 114. That's exemption.
114, okay. Balaji?
Sir. Sir.
Yes.
The amount of HR exempt வந்து 1,14,000, sir. In the
Okay.
tax HRA, so 1 lakh total amount received இருந்து subtract பண்ணா 66,000 தான் sir. ரெண்டு cases
66,000. Okay.
Sir.
So does someone want to change the answer, or shall you just continue the answer? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. First case எடுத்துப்போம். Chennai. Correct. So what are the three conditions? Least of the following is exempt, இல்லையா? Least of the following is exempt. What are the amounts? What is the first one?
HRA received.
Actually, received. What is the amount which is received? 1.8 lakhs. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Next is rent paid minus 10% of salary. So what is rent paid?
1,44,000.
144, which is nothing but 12,000 into 12. Correct?
Yes.
Minus 10% of salary. So what is 10% of salary?
30,000.
30,000.
25,000 into 12 into 10% is equal to 30,000. So what will be the answer? 1,44,000 minus 30,000, which is equal to 1,14,000. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Third point is, if he is in Chennai, what is the percentage of salary we should take?
50%.
50% of salary. So what is salary? 50% of salary, 12,000 into 12 into 50%, which is equal to 72,000. Correct? So what is the least of the following? 1,14,000. Correct? That's an answer.
The salary 25,000.
Salary 25,000.
Sorry. 25,000 into 12 into 50%. 1.5 lakhs. Correct?
Sir.
So this is the computation. So what is the amount? What is the answer? Least of the following is 1,14,000. So that is the answer, right?
Yes, sir.
Just read the question once.
You're asking taxable HR.
What is being asked is taxable HRA is equal to HRA received minus HRA exempt from tax. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So what is the total HRA received?
1,80,000.
1,80,000 minus 1,14,000, which is equal to nothing but 66,000. Reshma, you are right. Super. Correct. So if you're just going to go for this one, Bangalore also. For Bangalore, is it 50% of salary or 40% of salary?
40%.
Yeah, even though Bangalore is a metropolitan city, you should just take 40% of salary and not 15%, 50% of salary. Even if you're just going to take 40% of salary, we're just going to reduce just by 10%, right? Even then 1,14,000 will be less. You just want, I can just put that to you. So the first one, HRA received, will remain the same. HRA received will remain the same. You just need to take 40% sure. Just 1,20,000. Okay. So again, the answer will be same and you'll be getting 66,000 as the answer in both the cases. Shall we go to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Second question is, Sudarshan, டக்குன்னு கொஸ்டின் படிச்சிட்டு பார்க்கலாம்.
Second question. Mr. AK was an employee of SAP Limited and was employed during the entire previous year 22-23. The salary structure was as follows. The basic salary is 75,000 per month, HR is 60,000 per month, DNS allowance is 28,000 per month, commission based on profits earned by the entity 39,000. In addition to the above, he has received salary arrears of 1.8 lakhs for the financial year 21-22, which was taxed in that particular year. He also received salary arrears of 2.4 lakhs for financial year 2021 and 21-22, which was not taxed on due basis. He was residing in a rental house near Mylapore from April to July, after which he has purchased a new house and shifted therefore for the rest of the financial year. Compute the income taxable under the salaries for the assessment year 23-24.
டக்குன்னு சால்வ் பண்ணிட்டு பார்க்கலாம்.
Actually, it is.
I didn't get you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It is.
You should include that in your income, 2.4 lakhs. So what is the total salary before exemptions? This is the total salary before exemptions, correct? Less exemptions under section 1013A. That is for HRA. Correct? Which will be there in note number 2. What are the 3 conditions? What is the first one? Least of the following is exempt, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is the first one?
HRA received for the relevant period.
HRA received for the, yeah. What is the HRA which is received? 7,20,000. Correct? Yeah?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
You said HRA, it is it should be calculated for the period in which he's staying in the rented house. But here he is just staying for a period of 4 months, no, from April to July.
Yeah.
So should it be only for 4 months?
It should be only for 4 months here. I'm just doing that next. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Just give me a minute. I'll come to your point.
Yes, sir.
So what is the next amount which is exempt? Rent paid minus 10% of salary. What is my rent paid?
45,000 per month.
How much? 45,000 per month. So what is the month I have just stayed there? For how many months I have stayed?
4 months.
So if I'm just going to take the rent paid for 4 months, I should also take the HRA for 4 months. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So the actual terminology is HRA for the relevant period. So what is the HRA for the relevant period? Divided by 12 into 4. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Now rent paid minus 10% of salary. So what is my rent paid? 45,000 into 4 minus 10% of salary, 0.1 into, what is my salary? So which salary should I include now?
Salary for a period of 4 months.
Basic DA.
Basic and
DA, sir.
basic and DA. Why should I not include the commission?
Sir, because commission, it should be or based on the turnover achieved by the employee, but in the question it is given, it is based on the profit earned by the entity.
Okay.
So that's not really.
Super, fantastic. So why should I not include the salary arrears and all for this calculation? Should I include that?
Sir, salary, it just said basic salary. So, but
Okay.
the salary arrears doesn't form part of the basic salary.
No, actually it is basic salary only, right? It is basic. Assume it to be basic salary arrears.
But here it's explicitly given the basic salary to be.
Okay.
This.
So it is very simple. You are coming near the answer, but just the explanation is different. See, you should just take the salary for the relevant period. Correct? So even
Yes.
though arrears of salary is taxed in the current year, but that is not for this period for which the rent is paid.
Sir, actually, I was about to ask that question, sir, because you did for 12 months, shouldn't it be only for 4 months because while calculating the HRA?
Okay, fine. So now you are clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically what you should do is you just take a basic plus DA for 4 months. Correct? For 4 months, that into 10%. So that will come to 1 lakh for 1,49,100. Then what is the third point? It is 50% of salary or 40% of salary?
50%.
50% of salary. So what is my salary? Basic plus DA divided by 12 into 4. Correct? Am I right? Hello?
Sir,
Yeah?
sir, again, I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah.
So in the previous step, the rent paid minus 10% of salary, like the salary for the purpose of HRA, I'm getting like basic, you're taking it for 4 months.
Yeah.
So it's 75,000 into 4, right? So you're getting 3 lakhs. You said enough salary should also be for the relevant period.
No, sorry. Am I doing some mistake? HRA received. This one is correct, right? So this is D6. This one is correct.
For the purpose of HRA, the salary should also be for the relevant period. Here, the relevant period is for 4 months. So basic salary is 75,000 per month. So shouldn't it be 75,000 into 4?
So basic plus DA, right? Basic plus DA plus commission based on fixed percentage of turnover.
Yes, sir.
So
So
what I have done is I have taken basic and DA for the whole year.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so I
Because
just did. No,
given the
sorry. It is
monthly
12 by
figure.
4. It is 12. It is into 4 by 12. Sorry. Yeah. Are you fine now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Formula is wrong. Sorry.
Sir.
So the next point is basic plus DA. It is for the whole year. We have to take it for 4 months. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So what is the amount exempt?
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, 50% of salary, that 4,12,000, it should be 50%, sir. 4,12,000 is the salary with regard to the salary.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the amount which is exempt from tax?
1,38,800.
So you should just get this amount here. So who got this answer? Yes. Did someone get this answer?
Sir,
Yeah.
I have a doubt.
Yeah.
In the first step, when you're recording a basic salary, HRA and all,
Yeah.
you took it for 12 months, right?
Yeah. Correct.
So, in the beginning, you have to take it for 12 months. Later, while computing exemption for HRA, you have to take it for
Yeah.
11 period.
Yeah. See, basically, only for calculating the HRA exemption for HRA, you should take the salary for the relevant period. Okay. If you're just going to take for 4 months here, do you not think you will just pay tax on 4 months' salary?
Yes, sir, because that's where I actually missed out. I
Yeah.
got the taxable HRA right, but
Yeah.
the other 4 parts I just missed out. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why.
So that is actually the intention of the question. So we just
Yes.
frame this question just to test on that point. And this is how actually it will work. And there are some other deductions which is to be claimed from here. I'm not going into that part because we have not touched that part. Since we have not touched that part, there is something called a standard deduction and all. So since we have not gone into that, I'm not taking that for the time being. Okay.
Yes,
For now,
sir.
this is the answer, but this answer is subject to change. One major change will be, I'll just put it here. Don't worry if you do not know. There is something called a standard deduction, which will be 50,000. So,
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
yeah.
Why are we not considering arrears in calculation of salaries?
I didn't get you. Which one?
Arrears, sir. Why are we not considering arrears when calculating salaries, sir?
For the purpose of HRA?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, for the purpose of HRA, the salary which is to be used is the salary of the relevant period. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So, what is the relevant period here?
4 months.
4 months. So, 4 months of financial year
Yes, sir.
22-23. Correct?
Yeah.
So, is arrears of salary for this 4 months?
No, for 12 months it is.
Yeah. So, you got the answer.
So we have to take the proportionate amount, sir.
No, see, it is not for this period. Is this 2.4 lakhs for this period?
No, previous year.
Yeah. It is for preceding previous year. Previous year means it is 22-23. It is for preceding previous years, 2021 and 21-22.
Yes, sir.
So you just want to take that salary for the April to July of 22. Does that make any sense to you?
I didn't get this, sir.
See, boss, this salary is for financial year 2020-21 and 2021 to 22. Correct?
Correct, sir.
What is my relevant period?
4 months, April to July.
April 2022 to
23.
July 2022. Is this amount received during this period?
No, sir.
Then why should it be taken?
But we are taking it under above case, but not
That
in
is
the below.
taxable. See, that is taxability. That is for the purpose of section 15.
Okay.
So this is for the purpose of section 1013A.
Okay, sir.
Clear?
Under 1013A, we have to take only those which come under the current year, the previous year.
For the relevant period. The perfect terminology which is used in the act is relevant period. You can also use the same terminology. If it is for the relevant period, you can take it out. If not, you can just leave it out.
Okay, sir. If it is due,
yeah,
but not received in the
you can
relevant
take
period.
it. You can take it. You can take it. That should not be a problem.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Is there any other doubts in this regard? Yes.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, while computing taxable HRA, we
Yeah.
also we take the HRA paid, received for the relevant period.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is
So
4
in
months.
this, yes, sir.
Yeah.
So So in this case, it will be like 2,48,000 less the exempted amount 1,38,800.
No. See, the entire amount of 7,20,000 is taxable, of which I'm just claiming exemption for 1,38,800. Total HRA received is this amount less exempted HRA is this amount. Okay. So if you just want taxable HRA, this will be your taxable HRA. 7.2 minus 1.38. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So basically, like, yeah.
சார் இப்போ வந்து இந்த அரியர்ஸ் வந்து டியூ ஃபார் தி கரண்ட் இயர் அப்படின்னா
Hmm.
it will be taken for the calculation of HRA அப்படின்னு.
Yeah, it will be taken. It should be taken.
எஸ் சார் பட் இப்போ இந்த வருஷத்தோடது டியூ ஆறுது அப்படிங்கிறது it will not be arrearsல.
Yeah, obviously, like if at all it is arrears also, assume for example, it is not received by you. Okay. Even then, as per 15 also, you should pay tax on it. As per 1013 also, you should include it as salary for the relevant period.
எஸ்.
Okay. Clear? Shall we go to the next question?
எஸ்.
I have a doubt.
Yeah.
So, considering that salary part for HRA calculation,
Hmm.
so consider that basic plus DA plus commission percentage.
No, commission is not based on the percentage, hence I have not used it. See the question properly. Have said commission is based on profits earned by the entity. Commission is based on profits earned by the entity and it is not based on the turnover achieved by the employee. Okay. So does your doubt end there or do you have something else? Yeah. So should we do one more problem in this or shall we go to the next one?
Sir,
Yeah.
some metro cities க்கு மட்டும் தானே சார் 50%.
Yeah. Ama.
மயிலாப்பூர்ன்றது மெட்ரோ சிட்டியா சார்?
Mylapore is a part of Chennai. Sorry for using it. So it is a metro city. So you can just take it out. Mylapore, Chennai. So it is just an area in Chennai. Sorry for that. I just got misguided that everybody will be knowing Mylapore. So Mylapore is in Chennai. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So should we do another problem? Shall we take one quick problem?
Yes, sir.
You want easy question or tough question?
Tough one.
Tough one. Yaar paathu tough one. Balaji, நீயாடா?
இல்ல சார், நான் நினைச்ச யாரும் சொல்லிட்டாங்க.
நீ நினைச்ச யாரோ சொல்லிட்டாங்களே. நீ கேட்க மாட்டா அப்ப கூட டஃப் கொஸ்டின் வேணும்னு.
சார் நான் சொல்ல வந்ததுக்குள்ள யாரும் சொல்லிட்டாங்க சார்.
ஓகே. Okay. பாலாஜி கஷ்டமா கேட்டல டக்குன்னு படி பார்க்கலாம்.
Mr. AM is an employee of the SN Limited, Chennai. His salary structure is as following as on 1st of April 2022. Basic salary 2.8 lakhs per month, DA 1.4 lakh per month, HRA 1 lakh per month. On 1st of November, his salary structure is revised prospectively as follows. Basic salary 3.4 lakhs per month, DA 1.8 lakhs per month, HRA 1.5 lakh per month. Mr. AM was residing in a rented house property from the beginning of the year. The rent of the property was 15,000 per month. Since his salary was revised in the month of November, he planned to get a car on EMI and travel back to his house where his parents were staying from the month of January. To get the car, he has to make down payment and requested the management to pay the salary of the month of April in advance to him in the month of January. Compute the income taxable under the 8th salary.
Okay. கஷ்டமா இருக்கா? டக்குன்னு சால்வ் பண்ணி பார்க்கலாம்.
சார் இப்போ இந்த 8.8 சாரி இந்த 2.8 lakhsனா 2,80,000 அந்த மாதிரி சொல்லுவாங்க எப்படி சார்?
ஆமா 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 அந்த மாதிரி. November to March. Of this November to March period, half of the period is covered for rent, half of the period is not covered for rent. So the HRA workings is to be done in two different parts. Correct? So what I am doing is I am just splitting the entire year into three different parts. The first one is from April to October. The next period is from November, December. November to December. And the next is from Jan to March. Correct? Correct? Okay. So what is the basic salary? So I'll just put the number of months here. April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 8 months, right? sorry, 7 months, 7 months, 9 months, 2 months here. I'll just put it this way, 7, 2, 3. Okay. So what is the basic salary for April to October period?
2.8 lakhs.
For how many months?
7.
7.
months.
What is the next one? What is the HRA received?
1.4 lakhs.
1 point? HRA.
Oh, sorry.
HRA is 1 lakhs, right?
1 lakh, sir.
DA is 1.4 lakhs into 7 months. Right. So from the month of November, the salary structure is revised. So what is the basic salary in the month of November?
3.4 lakhs.
3.4 lakhs. So you just have the same 3.4 lakhs here also, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the HRA?
1.5 lakhs.
50,000. It is 150,000. Here it is 1,50,000 into 3. What is the DA? It is 1.8 lakhs per month. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
One lakh 8,000 into 3. Yes?
சார் இது ஏன் சார் நவம்பர் டு மார்ச்னு போட்டு எடுத்துக்க கூடாது?
புரியல.
நவம்பர் டு டிசம்பர் பிரிச்சிருக்கோமே, இது நவம்பர் டு மார்ச் எடுத்தா இப்போ நீங்க அந்த ஏப்ரல் மந்த் வந்து 1 மந்த் தான் அட்வான்ஸா வாங்குறோம், அதனால கணிப்பிச்சு.
So the reason why I'm doing that way is primarily for one reason that, see, in Jan to March, there is no rent paid. Correct? So basically renting எதுவுமே pay பண்ணல. இந்த பீரியட்ல rent pay பண்ணிருக்கேன், இந்த பீரியட்ல rent pay பண்ணிருக்கேன். Jan to March there is no rent payable. So if there is no rent payable, there is no HRA exemption. So இந்த amount வந்து zero ஆயிடுவீங்க.
Okay.
This is one way of doing the problem. You can do it by any way. Correct? So for my comfort, I'm feeling this is comfortable for me. So I'm taking Jan to March in these 3 things. If you feel you are taking November to March should be fine for you, that is not a mistake. You can do it that way also. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So just in the month of Jan to March, there is one more thing which we should remember is, so his April month's salary is received in the month of January. Correct? 1 month salary advance of April. So what would have been his April month salary?
3,40,000.
What about the other components? What about the other components? Correct? So the entire months of salary of 6.7 lakhs is received by him in the month of January itself. So here there is no other, here there is none. So the total amount will be sum of this one. Okay. So now we should go and compute HRA. For the month of April to October, for the month of November and December, for the month of Jan to March, there is no HRA exemption. Correct? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the HRA for the relevant period here? 7 lakhs, correct? So what is the rent paid? 55,000 into 7 months minus 10% of salary. What is my salary?
Sir?
Yeah, what is my salary here?
19,000.
Basic plus
DA. 9,000.
DA. Correct.
Sir, rent 50,000.
So rent is 50,000 per month.
3,000.
Okay. Okay. Rent is 50,000 per month. So 50,000 into 7 months minus 10% of basic plus DA. It is D5 plus D6 plus D8. Basic plus DA. Okay. Rent paid minus 10% of basic plus DA. Okay.
Yes.
So next is 50% of salary. Basic plus DA. So this is going to be my 50% of salary. So the amount which is exempt from taxes, 56,000. Correct.
Yes.
So for the November and December month, so what is going to be my rent paid? 50,000 into E5. Sorry. So HRA received 3 lakhs. Then rent paid minus 10% of salary. Rent paid is 50,000 into 2 minus 10% of salary. So what is my salary? Basic plus DA. Correct. Then 50% of salary. 5,20,000. E6 plus E8. So here minimum will become minus 4,000. If at all an amount is in minus, you can just take it as 0, right? So this amount is 0. Then for the Jan to March period, the amount exempt from tax is 0 because he is staying in his own house. Correct?
Yes.
So 56,000. Here it is 0. Here also it is 0. So the amount of salary taxable will be, whose total is 76 lakhs 4,000. If you take out standard deduction of 50,000, which I'll teach you after some time. If you don't know this 50,000, don't worry. So your answer would be somewhere around 75 lakhs 54,000. Who got that answer? Unfortunately, nobody. So is there any questions in this question?
Sir,
Yeah.
house rent allowance received for the relevant period வந்து நவம்பர் டு டிசம்பர்ல 3 lakhs எப்படி சார்? அவங்க தான் சொந்த வீட்டுக்கு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அப்புறம் எப்படி?
அவங்க தான். I'm not getting you, Balaji.
சரி சார்.
இல்ல.
Sir.
Okay, doubt clear. Yeah.
Sir.
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
Sir, actually on HRA calculation you said right, and the second part calculate பண்ணும்போது அந்த நவம்பர் and December calculate பண்ணும்போது negative 4,000 வந்தது இல்ல சார்? ஆக்சுவலா லைக் நான் இந்த மாதிரி பார்ட்டா போடல சார். பட் ஆனா நான் டைரக்டா அப்படியே கால்குலேஷன்ஸ் நான் எடுத்துட்டேன். சோ அப்ப பண்ணும்போது நெட் ஆஃப் பண்ணி வர
52 வந்துரும்.
Yes sir.
So that is the reason I just splitted it and done. That is with an intention the numbers are given. Okay. So if you're just going to include it, எல்லாத்தையும் நீ ஒண்ணா போட்டேன்னா உனக்கு என்ன ஆயிரும்? நீ சொல்ற மாதிரி இது வரும். It will just come as a net figure. So whenever there is split in salary, split it out onto.
Yes sir. Is that wrong actually?
No, I won't say that is wrong, but generally this is how the calculation will go about. Right. So month on month HRA exemption மாதிரி claim If you just see in practice, what will be done is, even though they just take it out for the whole year, this is how it is actually to be done, for one simple reason that, see, if you are just going to take 52,000, right? The person who is going to lose is you, basically the employee, not the employer. Since it is more beneficial to him, we'll follow this method if there is a revision of salary. But நீ டோட்டலா போட்டாலும் ஒன்றும் பெரிய மிஸ்டேக்லாம் வராது. ஏன்னா like the system cannot understand and compute it. But what is given in law is this only. அந்த specified period, relevant period இருக்கிற salary மட்டும் எடுக்க சொல்றச்சு, if you are going to take in totality, right, you will be getting a different answer. அந்த relevant period ஓட HRA இல்லாம நீ வேற ஒரு salary எடுத்து போட்டுட்டு இருக்க.
Yes, sir.
So that is the reason.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, இப்போ இந்த 1 month salary advance of April month இருக்குல்ல,
Yeah.
இது வந்து லோன் மாதிரி எடுத்துக்கூடாதா?
இல்ல, அவன் வந்து salary advance ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா கொடுத்துட்டான். அட்வான்ஸ் அகேன்ஸ்ட் salary கொடுக்கல. To pay the salary of the month of April in advance to him. Correct?
Sir, yes sir. And இப்போ அந்த rent பார்ட்டுக்கு வந்து he travels back to his own house, அது வந்து நவம்பர் தானே சொல்லிருக்கோம்.
இல்ல, நவம்பர்ல salary வந்ததுனால, since his salary was revised in the month of November, he planned to get a car on EMI and travel back to his own house where his parents were staying from the month of January. Question li specific irke.
Okay.
Okay. Some other questions?
Sir, can you go to the solution? Sir, yeah. Here from 75 lakh 54,000, shouldn't we subtract 56,000, sir?
Which 56,000 here? This amount is already deducted, only then I just got this. This is already deducted here. Okay.
Sir, I have one more doubt, sir.
Yeah.
When we are revising the salary,
yeah,
it is in retrospective.
I have said specifically it has been given that it is prospective.
I missed this.
Yeah, it is specifically given that it is prospective. If you just see the question here, on 1st November, his salary is revised prospectively.
Okay, sir.
It is not retrospectively.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Some other questions? Or should we close the class? It is 10 o'clock actually. Yes?
Sir?
Yeah.
In the HRA received இருக்குல்ல சார்,
yeah,
அது நவம்பர் டு டிசம்பர் எப்படி சார் எடுத்துக்கலாம்?
எப்படி எடுத்துக்கலாம்னா புரியல கண்ணா.
இல்ல சார், அவங்க ஓன் ஹவுஸ் போயிட்டாங்களே, அப்படின்ற போது அது எப்படி எடுத்துக்கலாம்?
The company will continue to give it, whether you stay in your own house or you are going to stay in the rented house property, right? But as far as the taxation is concerned, this is how it is to be done. Company கொடுக்கறது கொடுத்துட்டு இருப்பான், நம்ம அதுக்கு டாக்ஸ் கட்டிட்டு போயிட்டே இருக்கணும், அவ்வளவுதான். As similar to other parts of salary.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
Sir, notes share பண்ணுங்க sir.
Definitely, I'll just share this. So as far as HRA is concerned, I don't think more than this anything could be asked in the examination. This is the highest order questions which could be framed. Nothing else is actually available in HRA. So whatever is maximum, we have just done it. After this, we're just left with 2 more things in allowances. So if you just give me some 5 minutes, I'll just complete it. What shall we do? Shall we just take that alone on a quick basis so that we'll complete one part, or 10 minutes max?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
see.
yes.
So we have completed till 10:13A, right? So as far as allowances are concerned, see, the allowances are basically covered by 2 things. One is 1014(1) and 1014(2). As far as 1014(1) is concerned, which we have just listed you the list of expenses, list of allowances: traveling allowance, daily allowance, conveyance allowance, helper allowance, research allowance, and uniform allowance. If this allowance is given to you for the purpose of employment, and it is used for the extent it is given. Assume, for example, the company gives you traveling allowance of 50,000. Okay. So if you are using that entire 50,000 for the purpose of traveling, the entire 50,000 is exempted. But if you are just using it to the extent of 40,000 or 45,000, the remaining amount is taxable. Clear? So it's the special allowances. There are two categories. One is 10-14-1. Another one is 10-14-2. In 10-14-1, what they say is, in the list of allowances, if at all you are utilizing it to the purpose it is given, it is exempt to that to that extent. If somebody is going to, if the company is going to give you traveling allowance or daily allowance or conveyance allowance, and you are using the entire amount for conveyance, okay, so that is the case, the entire amount is exempt. Or assume, for example, the company gives you a conveyance allowance of 50,000. Of that 50,000, you are just using 30,000 for conveyance and keeping 20,000 with yourself. So the remaining 20,000 alone is taxable. You can receive any amount, that is not a problem in 10-14-1. You can receive any amount. If at all it is utilized for the purpose it is given, it is exempt. But if it is utilized for the purpose which is not given, then it is taxable. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Super. So next is 10-14-2. 10-14-2, it is a very exhaustive list. There are somewhere around 16-17 items there in 10-14-2. But what I'm taking is, I'm just taking 3 important allowances alone under 10-14-2. For one reason, that if you're just, for every allowance, they'll be giving a separate monetary limit. Stump tutory allowance, special area allowance, notified area allowance, transportation allowance. So there are so many allowances which is there in 10-14-2. So what we are doing is, we'll take 3 allowances which are highly important in 10-14-2. Other things are there in your book. So what you just do is, before going to the exam, just take that, read that once. If you remember, write it. If you are just planning to remember all the 13 or 14 items which is given, and the salary chapter has so much for you to remember. So maybe once in 5 or 6 exams, the other allowances are being tested, but these are tested on a constant basis. So whatever is being tested on a constant basis, I'm giving you. Whatever is not being tested on a constant basis is there in your institute study material. Right? There is a tabular column. You just revise the tabular column before going into the examination. Now let us come to our discussion. So as far as the important allowances under special allowance is concerned, there are 3 things. One is children's educational allowance. Next is children's hostel expenditure allowance. Third one is transportation allowance. First, in case of children's education allowance, rupees 100 per month per child is exempt, subject to a maximum of 2 children. Okay. So basically, if the person employee is going to have 1 child, 1,200 will be exempt. The entire amount, other amount will be taxable. If he is going to have 2 children, 2,400 will be exempt. The other amount will be taxable. That is children's educational allowance. Same is the case with hostel expenditure allowance. Instead of 100 rupees, it is 300 rupees per month per child here. Here also it is subject to a maximum of 2 children. So if a person is going to have 1 children, so basically 3,600 is exempt. If he is going to have 2 children, 7,200 is exempt. These 2 things are there. Third is an important allowance exemption, which you should remember while you are reading something called as section 115 BAC. Please note this out, because that is 115 BAC is not taught to you. I'm aware of that. So that will be somewhere around the fair end of your classes. That will be in the last few classes of the taxation, because that is in relation to rates of taxes. There is something called a special rates of taxation or new scheme of taxation. Okay. At that point in time, remember this. I'll just tell you what this allowance is about. See, whenever the company is going to give to a handicapped employee or an employee who is deaf, dumb, or blind, then 3,200 per month is exempt for that employee of the transportation allowance. Okay. So if you just go for new scheme of taxation, only certain deductions can be claimed. We just saw many exemptions, right? Basically, take the case of HRA. If you are going to opt for new scheme of taxation, that HRA exemption will not be allowable. You cannot claim that as a deduction. Don't confuse it. There is something like that. So in that, the only allowance which will be allowable for if you are opting for new scheme of taxation is the third point, the transportation allowance to an employee who's deaf, dumb or blind. Right. So this is where our allowances chapter end. So next, this is the next part of our chapter, which is retirement benefits. So we can just take that up tomorrow. Basically, I'll just tell you the timings now. So we'll just stop the recording here and we'll just continue.